night, I called Brittany and I said, hey, how much, let's sit down and talk about how much debt do we have? Because we've been racking it up these last 2 years. And then we sat down and added it up. It was over $230,000. And that did not include our house because we lived in California. You can't buy no house for 200 grand. So, yeah. And so that's when we started our second debt-free journey, man. And we buckled down. It was July 2019. We got on the budget. We stopped frivolous spending, started selling stuff, sold our car, our Jeep. That was the first thing that we sold. And then we just started the process from there. And we just started being aggressive. We both were working, a lot of sacrifice. And God blessed us for sure through the journey. It was hard though, man. Tell you that.
That's great. I definitely want to like ask for more time. Like, when God did speak to you in that hotel room, I can only imagine, like how you was feeling, able to now have to go and explain to your wife. Like, how did that conversation, go about? Was she, how did that go?
Yeah. You want to tap in on that?
Yeah. When Tony came to me with it, I was ready anyways to start our journey again because I knew that it was time myself. So I think God had already prepared me for the conversation before, not knowing that Tony was going to be ready at that time. I was already ready to start back paying off the debt. So it was a really easy conversation. So when he said ready, set, I said go.
That's definitely good. So I want to ask another question in regards to that. That you guys started, you guys got down to 40K. How did you guys slip back? Like what was happening that caused you guys to accumulate so much debt in such a short time?
Yeah.
So the 2015 debt-free journey, we paid out the 60 grand, and then the 40,000 went into the debt forgiveness, and then we had this how much, like, we wanted to buy stuff. We had this consumer mindset. Like, what can I buy? We're debt free now, quote unquote. We're debt free now. What can I buy? What can I buy? It was almost like an addict. Like we felt like we was missing out on something. Mm-hmm. And we just really went all in. We started, going on vacations and just really swiping that card. And a lot of our debt came when we bought our house, our new house in 2019. And we probably had racked up another 80,000 just from buying the house, construction loans, trying to do the backyard, front yard, landscaping, all that stuff. So we added on another 80 grand just from buying the house. And honestly, it just wasn't the right season in hindsight of buying the house. So we put the cart before the horse at that point. But yeah, that mindset shift was huge in that process. So yeah, we just really just wanted to spend money. So the consumer mindset versus the investor mindset, we didn't have it at the time.
I think our first debt-free journey, we sacrificed so much. We didn't go out to eat at all. It was more of a deprivation type of thing. So when we were able to see our money again, we were like, okay, what can we go buy? So we also did some super hobbies during that time that, took up a lot of our money for sure. We renewed our vows, and we had a wedding because the first time we got married, we didn't have a wedding. We did like a courthouse wedding. So we wanted to, for our 5-year anniversary, we wanted to do it big. So we did. We did a 3-day, 7 days. It was a 7-day vacation in Aruba, and our family came down. I mean, it was absolutely gorgeous. And we started that process off by paying cash because in the back of our minds, even at that time, we knew, okay, we're going to try to pay cash for as many things as we possibly can. But it's something about when you start swiping your credit card there's something about the ease and the convenience of just swiping it again. It's like, oh, well, you know what? We need an extra $10,000 for this cake or this, that, or this. It's like little things started adding on, and we didn't have the liquid cash for it right then. So we were like, we're not going to wait another 2 months to get the liquid cash. We're just going to go ahead and swipe the credit card. We'll pay for it.
Right.
So that mentality, that consumption mentality just took over. And there we were, 235.
Wow, wow. That's definitely a journey. And I want to ask, being the fact that you guys went through the first journey, restricting yourself from different things, how did you guys go about approaching the second journey? Were you guys restricting certain things? Do you guys still go on dates? What was the plan in that second journey?
So that was 2019, July 2019. I was still traveling for work. So when we started the process, we were apart, right? And once I got back home, which was close to the end of the year of 2019, we were pregnant at the time as well. So Brittany was like 8 or 9 months pregnant when I got back home. And January 2020, we had our second daughter. And then I went on deployment. I went on deployment for 10 months. So we were apart most of the time. So the whole dates and stuff like that, we couldn't do that, obviously. But we, so yeah, that process it made it a little bit smoother, but we were so locked in mentally and we were so focused. It was like, never again. We started thinking about our future, really, like, we are really like robbing our future right now, that mentality. And we had to like put a lot of things to the side. Like we didn't care about really going out or trying to impress anybody or anything like that. We were laser focused. Like, what are our goals, man? Like we got 2 daughters and we don't want them to go through the same things that we went through. So we gotta tighten up.
Yeah. The majority of our debt-free journey the second time was during the pandemic.
Yes.
And the pandemic started March of 2020. So we were blessed enough to still be able to work from home. Even though I was blessed enough to still be able to work from home. And Tony, he was on deployment. So, it really, we were sitting down. We were not moving. We were not spending any money. But thanks be to God, we were still making money. So we just took advantage of that. And as far as like the student loans, we were like, okay, we're taking those out of that debt forgiveness program because that got caught up in like court cases and fraud and all of that anyways. And then that's when the student loan forgiveness, what you didn't have to pay any interest on your student loan. What was
student loan repayment plan? Yeah, they took it to 0%, so which is still in it right now. So.
Yeah, we're still actually. I forgot the technical term for it, but we took advantage of that, and we were like, okay, you know what? We don't have to pay any interest on the loan right now. We're not going out to eat right now. We can't. So we're cooking from home more. So it really just provided us the opportunity to not do any extra spending because we were not going anywhere.
Right. Yep. Helped out a lot.
That's pretty dope. Oh, that's pretty dope. Thank God that you guys were able to go through that process during the pandemic. So the next thing I want to definitely ask and talk about is that you mentioned that it was hard, through the process. How did your faith, guide you guys through this process of 19 months of selling this, not doing this, selling the Jeep? You guys went through a whole life-changing milestone.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you asked that question because it's so key, right? Even through that process, we started discovering it was more of a self-discovery thing. And I know just for me, man, I've always been a car guy, right? And I've always loved nice car. And when we started this second process, it's like I didn't care anymore. I didn't care what I drove. Because my future, my family's future is way more important than what I drive and what type of clothes I wear, what I could spend my money on or our money on. That took a mental shift We started a minimalism journey. So we got rid of a lot of things that was weighing us down, stopped buying stuff that didn't add value to our lives anymore. And we started really holding on to appreciating experiences more than things. And so that was a shift that helped us out a ton. Just really thinking about, okay, what does the word say about stuff? It's not saying that you can't have things, but to the detriment of things having you, that's where things can spiral because you feel like you need to have the latest and greatest of everything. And when in reality, it just clutters up your life. So that helped us out a lot. Just really embarking on a minimalism journey while we were getting out of debt. And now we're at a point where it's just, okay, do we really want that thing that we said we wanted to get now? No, not really, not at the detriment of building wealth. Doesn't matter anymore. So
Oh, so that's dope. That's dope. And what scripture would you say, helped you guys through the process, or Bible passage, that helped you guys through the passage?
yeah. So for 2019, excuse me, for 2020, we had a theme. We tried to do a theme word or a scripture for each year. For 2020, the theme was order, transition, and trust. Those were the three words that we leaned on, right? Because our life is so different, because I'm military, I travel. Brittany is a celebrity makeup artist, she traveled. And so we understand that, hey, we need to be in order and alignment with God. And he transitions us quite often with moving and things like that. And we knew we had a big transition coming up. And so a lot of that, we had to trust on the Lord. And the scripture that came up was Proverbs 3, verse 5 through 6, lean not on your own understanding, but trust in the Lord. And that scripture carried us through 2020 because it was like, okay, anytime we had any turbulence that came up, any challenges or trials, we leaned on that scripture. We said, okay, let's remove ourselves out of this, trust in God more, lean on God, not our own understanding. And that carried us a lot. It's still carrying us.
Right.
It's still carrying us. And that was key.
Yeah.
That was key.
Yep.